Okay, today we're going to learn how to use or program those stack snapshots in HXFX. As you can see, it can be pretty useful, and I'm going to show how it works and then how to set it up. As you can see, we are currently on snapshot 1, and I have everything set up to illustrate or show what happens when I step on each snapshot. So right now we are in snapshot 1, and if I wanted to go to snapshot 2, I would just need to press snapshot 2, and it changes. It turned off my tremolo and turned on my phaser. Then I want to go to snapshot 3. It turned off my phaser and turned on flanger. Then I want to go to snapshot 4, and it turns everything off and turns on a rotary speaker. And then I can go back to snapshot 1 if I want to, and it goes back to snapshot 1. Of course, this is not the only option. I've set it this way because other guy asked me if this particular setup was possible, where he wanted to have in this button snapshot 1 and 3, and in this other button snapshot 2 and 4. Of course, you can have all the 4 snapshots in the same button, in any button you want, but in the same button. I'm going to show you how to program this particular setup, and then I can show you how to program all the snapshots in one button. If you ask me, it's kind of counterintuitive. All the settings you have to move or program in each snapshot, but I guess there's a reason for this, which I don't understand, and it's made for smarter people than me. I should clarify too that you don't need to move in an upwards motion. I mean, you don't need to specifically move from snapshot 1 to snapshot 2 to snapshot 3 to snapshot 4. You can go to whatever snapshot number you want. You can go from 1 to 4, and then from 4 to 2, and whatever. So this is just a specific range for this guy that asked me how to do this specific order. In order to do this, we need to go to Command Center and tell the unit which buttons we want to use for this. So as you can see, I'm using button 1 and button 2. Once we are here, we need to tell this button what do we want it to do. We need to keep in mind that currently we are in snapshot 1. We need to tell this button what to do right now in snapshot 1, and this button 2 what we want it to do in snapshot 1 also. Even though we won't mess with it, we won't press it or whatever, but we still need to we still need to tell it what we want it to do. So in this button, we need to tell it, I want you to go to snapshot 3 when I press you. So we need to set the press. We need to set it to snapshot 3. So it is in snapshot 3. So when I press it, it will move to snapshot 3, and it will display snapshot 1. So if I want to go to snapshot 1, I press this again. Now, the first time you set this up, when you press it, it won't show in the other buttons snapshot 2 or your effects. It might show snapshot, but with the arrow pointing up or down. That's why it's important to tell it what we want it to do in snapshot 1, and also to the other button. Even though we won't press it, we still need to tell it, I want you to stay in snapshot 2 when we are currently on snapshot 1. I know this sounds very confusing because it is, but once you set it up, it kind of makes sense. Right now we are in snapshot 1, and I set all the effects so it is clear in which snapshot are we, because otherwise it will be hard to explain. So how do I tell this button that I want it to be snapshot 2 while we are currently on snapshot 1? If I touch it, you can see I'm telling it right now, I want you to be on snapshot 2, so I hope you can see. But as you can see, we're in snapshot 2. So every time we are in snapshot 1, snapshot 2 will appear in this button. So if I press this button now, we are in snapshot 2, as you can see. However, once we're in snapshot 2, I can tell this button that if I press it again, it will go to snapshot 4. This is really confusing actually, but it makes sense. Let me show you. If I press it again, I'm moving to snapshot 4. This button will turn on. You see? And it displays snapshot 2 here because that's the. If I press this button again, it will take me to snapshot 2. If I move to snapshot 2, this effect will turn on now. So that's how I know I'm snapshot 2. So you need to do that in every snapshot twice because, in this specific case, as you can see right now, we are in snapshot 2, and I'm telling this button, if I press you will move to snapshot 4. And right now, this button, since we're in snapshot 2, I need to tell this button, while we are in snapshot 2, I want you to display here snapshot 3. So it should say snapshot 3. You see? It says snapshot 3. And that's how you set everything up. It's very important that you do this in every snapshot, in both buttons or any button you want to use. Otherwise it will display the snapshot with the arrow pointing up or down, like when you're in this kind of scenario. So I know it's confusing, but it makes sense once you do it in every snapshot. I will do it from scratch, so it makes sense. Okay, let's say I want to do 4 snapshots and I want to use just 2 buttons for this. So I want to assign these 2 foot switches for snapshot 1 and 3 and 2 and 4. I have 4 effects currently: a tremolo, a phaser, a harmonic flanger, and a rotary speaker effect. I want to assign each effect for each snapshot. So in snapshot 1, I want this on. In snapshot 2, I want this on, and all the other ones turned off. In snapshot 3, I want just the flanger on, and in snapshot 4, I just want the rotary speaker on. So first things first, you need to be sure, or you need to make sure you're in snapshot 1. How do we do this? We need to go to this face of the HX effects. We press these 2 buttons, and it moves and it tells us which snapshot you want to edit. So we press snapshot 1, and now we can see right here we're in snapshot 1. So I already have turned on this effect which I want for snapshot 1. Okay, so I need to go to Command Center and tell HXFX, I want you to use switch foot 1 for moving between snapshot 1 and snapshot 3. Now, I move this knob and tell it, I want you to mess with snapshots. So I would leave it just like this and then go out. And this is what I was saying. It will display this message. So you touch it and tell it, while we are in snapshot 1, I need you to display here snapshot 3, because that's where I want you to take me if I press you. So right now it's just displaying next snapshot, but I want it to display snapshot 3. That's why I move it to snapshot 3. Now if I touch another button, you will see that it says snapshot 3 now. Okay, so now I want the HXFX to display here snapshot 2. It won't take me to snapshot 2, it will just display snapshot 2, because I want that if I press that button, it takes me to snapshot 2. So I need to go back to Command Center and select switch foot 2 and tell it again, please mess with snapshots. I go out and then I touch this button again and tell it, I want you to display snapshot 2. So I move it to snapshot 2. So right now we are in snapshot 1, but it displays snapshot 3 and snapshot 2. Now, what would happen if I press snapshot 2 right now? It will take me to snapshot 2, as you will see, but then we will need to program this button again, and you'll see. So now that we're in snapshot 2, as you can see, the effect is turned on. That means we're in snapshot 2. That's how I know right now, and it's easier to explain. I need to tell HXFX what to display in this button and in this button. Remember, we're still in snapshot 2. So since we were in snapshot 1 and I pressed snapshot 2, I can either tell it if I want to display snapshot 1 here or snapshot 3. Right now I will tell it to display snapshot 3. So I touch it and tell it, please go to snapshot 3. So every time I'm in snapshot 2, it will display snapshot 3, so that I can go to snapshot 3 if I want to. Now, as I told you, you need to program both buttons in every snapshot. So now that we are in snapshot 2, I can tell it what I want it to display here. So I want it to show the option of going to snapshot 4. So we are in snapshot 2 currently, and it displays snapshot 3 and 4. So right now that I'm in snapshot 2, I can move to snapshot 3 and then to snapshot 4. So if I'm in snapshot 3 and I go to it, as you can see, it shows that I move to snapshot 3, but I need to program once again both buttons. So if I'm in snapshot 3, I want HXFX to display here snapshot 4 and here snapshot 1, because I want it to take me back to snapshot 1. So here I tell it, go to snapshot 1, and right here I want it to display snapshot 4. So we are in snapshot 3, but we have the possibility to move back to snapshot 1 or to go to snapshot 4. So if we are moving chronologically through the parts of the song, we will move to another part of the song. So I will move to snapshot 4. As you can see, we are in snapshot 4 because we are in another effect. So once again, you need to program both buttons again. So now that we are in snapshot 4, I want the possibility to either move to snapshot 1 or to go back to snapshot 2. So first I'm going to program snapshot 1 here. So here I tell it again, move to snapshot 1, and right here I'll tell it, move to snapshot 2. Now If I go back to snapshot 1, it displays snapshot 2, and we're back in snapshot 1 because this effect is turned on and the others are off. If I move to snapshot 2, this is on and the others are off, and it displays snapshot 3. If I move to snapshot 3, you can see we're in snapshot 3, and it shows snapshot 4 here. Once we're in snapshot 4, you can see we are in snapshot 4, and it displays once again snapshot 1. Now, we don't need to move in that particular order. We can go back to snapshot 2 if I want to. As you can see, it moved back to snapshot 2. I can go back to snapshot 3 or move back to snapshot 1. So right now I have the ability to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, or go from 1 to 3 and then to 4 and then to 2 and then to 3 again and then to 1. You know, you can do whatever you want. This is just an example and a setup, a particular setup that this guy wanted to do. So now I should mention that it's important to know that you need to be sure in which snapshot you are. That's why I was doing it from here, because it makes it clearer. So that's how I'm gonna edit each snapshot. So right now, let's say I want to edit snapshot 2. So right now I know I'm in snapshot 2 and it says here snapshot 2. And how do I edit all my effects chain? I go to signal flow and I can turn on or off or move whatever parameter I want, and all these changes will happen in snapshot 2. I need to do that in each snapshot. So right now I have everything programmed, but if you didn't have everything programmed yet, you need to do it that way. You go to this, you press snapshot 3, and then you can edit whatever. Now if you already have this here, you can just move to that snapshot and do the same thing and edit whatever you want. I hope this is useful. I can do another video doing all this in just one button.